Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Thursday Morning Express Meditation. Welcome again. So last week, I think we kind of started. No, it wasn't last week, but we've been in this karma mode, looking at karma, and in particular, we were starting. I think maybe 2 weeks ago, we started looking at um, no action, no karma, and then last week we were contemplating any action that is performed or completed um, is not wasted. Uh, I would say in the book of the law of nature, it's recorded. So we can't hide. Everything we do is recorded. Um, and now we started to you know start thinking about the negative karma because that's the easy one for us. I think it kind of comes up more easily than when we think about the positive karma. And we're gonna we're gonna contemplate the specific non-virtues, how they happen, how this karma is created. And it's a bit of a mental exercise, an intellectual exercise. But when we meditate on this, and we meditate it again and again and again, it's becoming a realization. It's not just knowledge. And I don't really know what a realization is, but I think, or I interpret it as something that like we know, we know in our heart, not just something we read and we learned and is in our head, but we really understand it and we really feel it. So just a bit of a reminder, it's not to be intellectual while it quite uh, is intellectual at the beginning. We're trying to turn it into an aha moment. So we try to keep that in mind as we go through these meditations, and we're trying to come down from our head and we're trying to come into our heart. So we can try to bring our mind inside because we're so outwardly focused all day long. Try to bring our mind to the center of our chest, to our consciousness, bring our attention. And we can feel our lungs, right about the chest, maybe a little lower, right? How they're expanding and contracting. So we try to bring our attention to this point. And we just observe the breath at that point for about a minute. And then we generate this special motivation that we're meditating to increase our realization so that we can be a benefit to others around us. So we do it for everyone, and I am included in the everyone. So we recall for just a moment that um, all the actions that we perform, they're not wasted. They influence our karmic stream. They're imprinted on our mind stream, on our stream of consciousness. And then when we focus in on negative karma, negative actions, first, where do our negative actions come from? Or what are the three producing um, the three things that produce karma, or three things that produce actions. So we have the body, we have the speech, and we have the mind. So those are the sources. So to overcome suffering, we have to abandon the 10 non-virtues or the negative karmas, to abandon the negative karma, we have to understand it properly, as well as the factors that um, allow it to bring the heaviest negative results. And to be fully motivated in this effort, we need to clearly understand the full impact of its negative results. So we need to understand um, what is negative karma. We need to understand the heaviness, the weightiness of negative karma, and we need to understand the results. So we think about these 10 non-virtues. We have killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, lying, divisive speech, harsh speech, idle gossip, covetousness, malice, wrongdoing, wrong view. So those are the 10. Don't need to memorize them. Um, but important that, they're broken into three groups according to body, speech, and mind. So the first three are non-virtues of the body, and the second four are the non-virtues of speech, and the last three are non-virtues of the mind. So those are the three sources of action. So we have these non-virtues, and we know that they create suffering, don't they? Suppose it's a question to investigate. Sometimes I think it's more clear It's more apparent, like um, other times it's not because the result doesn't ripen for a long time. So it can be a bit tricky to see. I think that's what we're working on, right? So like the ones that are hard to see is like um, a non-virtuous or a rebirth in a lower realm. It's like because I called my friend a name today that my next rebirth will be in a lower realm. It's hard for us to connect. But that's okay. We work with where we're at and we build up. So, what is this? How does this karma work? And for the um, rebirth in the lower realm, it has to have a complete karma. So, what's complete karma? So, for complete karma, we have to have four factors, right? Four factors have to be there. There needs to be an object, there needs to be an intention, there needs to be an action, and there needs to be completion of the action. And it seems like this whole intention, first part, it seems this is one of the elements that really decides the impact, the heaviness, the weightiness of the karma. Because this intention has an element of discrimination, it has a motive, and it has a delusion. And if any of these are not there, then the intention isn't full, and therefore the uh, karmic completion is not complete. It's an incomplete karma. So, take the example of killing. It's a non-virtue, right? So maybe easier to think killing an insect. I think most of us are not killing humans every day. Um, so we have the intent, and this intent has discrimination. There's a clear recognition, discrimination of the object to be killed, the insect. So if that's the intention to kill the insect, but then you kill a rabbit, and the intention um, is not complete. The karma is not complete. There's still negative karma because the killing of a rabbit, but the intention was, you know, was not the rabbit, it was the insect. So there's no cause for a lower rebirth. And then there's the element of motive, the state of mind that um, says, I fully intend to kill the insect. So without this motive or motivation, then there's also not a negative karma that is created for a lower rebirth. Perhaps the best example of this is, you're driving and uh, a small animal, runs in front of you and you can't react quick enough and you run it over. And the motivation wasn't there. It was unintentional. And then also a part of this intention is the delusion element. So with this act of killing, we can have delusion, we can have anger, we can have attachment, ignorance. And this delusion, helps mm, helps motivate our intention. And in fact, it can um, obscure your awareness of your actions. It can obscure your awareness of your motivation. And in fact, an action that's not motivated by a delusion does not create negative karma. How about that? An action that is not motivated by delusion does not create negative karma. So maybe it's our delusions that is the root mo- uh, influencing our motivation, our intention. no delusion, no motivation, no intention. And then we have the act, the action of killing. So, the hand strikes the insect. That's pretty simple part. And then the completion is when the insect dies. So you might have tried to strike the insect, maybe did, but it doesn't die. Then the karma is the negative karma is it's not complete. But let's say you tried to strike the insect and you missed. But the insect dies anyway from natural causes. And you're satisfied with the result. And then this completes the karma because it has all the four components, despite that you didn't actually strike it. Just your satisfaction, almost, I guess it would be like a rejoicing. So this intention part is quite intricate, and we can see how we have the opportunity to influence our intentions of our actions, and to reduce our delusions that are driving our intentions. And I think to put it into simple terms, when we were children growing up, I think we were instructed or taught or explained to think before we act. with that in mind, we can dedicate all of the merits that we've created during this meditation and dedicate to all those that are in war-torn territories, all those that are suffering from illness, all those that have recently passed, and may they never be reborn in war-torn territories, ever experience illness, never experience death, or in returning to cyclic existence again, and all uh, quickly reach the enlightened state of fully complete Buddha. Thank you, everyone.